esodi na babishemu se ene yembiti apomuden ho asem na empatro ene program no ya tunidin fasting, a gift to humanity. Fasting, a gift to humanity. Na ene diobedi yenim ewo program yi mu Mame Juliet Opuni-Mensah. Mame Juliet Opuni-Mensah. Na mepacho ansa na opeshe the program na seno. Mepacho ye Mame Margaret Amponsa so baby I want ya bitini abompaye amaya share program na se.
Mepacho me dasti. Adofo no ni die mu me nyina nkete ye ne mompaye. Yeda wasi Nyankopon ne abankese. Chema eni hwammo na anwumre waka oma no se nyina mehiem se ba forma. Afei mehia ho ade. Yesro se ye ba ehuyemopo na ensem a waba wo maye no. Papa ni mu fa maye. Na mehro se ensem a ebepie afri waba wanum no. Fa maye ne mfa mobra e onansan boni wiase mu. Ona ebetie nyina kaka wono mra akoma yiso. Afei ni onyina nsua na yemfa moye mbra e onansan boni wiase mu. Asanche na Kristo pia abetu yense pata. Eda wasi na nwumre so atie wo Yesu Kristo di mu nti. Amen.
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 Na mageda wase. Nempacho meja hama ma Juliet.
Okay. Eda mwase. Mepamcho mote menka.
Mepacho ane yetonka.
Okay, great. Okay. Me damu na mwase for the opportunity say ne memfa sa topic we na yenfa entutu yenyina yehofo. Na I hope say by the time I be presentation na yenyina we have learned something valuable from it. Nti me share my screen no quickly na ya delve into it. Mommy. Just a few seconds here. Okay. Pamucho, someone who is screen no.
Mepacho ane hu screen no.
Okay. Inti said your sister D kind no, and your topic I be kan ho asem fasting. I think say bibia as a Christopher no ye bibia ye ritual ye eka ye day-to-day activities ho boy spiritual enhancement na ehwehwe mu ama ye hu say fasting also has health benefits. No, and then we will focus more on the health aspect of fasting. No, na ya delve deep into it. Na the woman no yetimi e dia she yekoto dwem. Inti and mami enya ne kese na yina okay. Okay. Inti no. And then topics I share like many topics I share under this broad topic. Fasting a very very broad topic, but my selected some few things are very relevant to yang na saying we are see mune the ebe benefit ya pomudin said ebe ya enkoye kasa tenten bebre na yetimi anya enough time to ask questions. Inti ebe dive deep into why we're talking about fasting at this time. And edian kra na fasting no. You share types of fasting you share the health benefits, which is the main focus of this presentation. And you so share say ye ni pay a man and mema nyina the fasting needs are the same and I say a defa based on gender or your bar. A crime ben be fast so be faste we a bear man so or restrictions be ana and I be share the impact of fasting on your key hormones. Your hormones are me who said a match power tree, but a year and a near maybe a warrior nipedria moa, a boama, a regulati, a nearma bebre, ewo ye nipedrianim, menfanisa. Na fe ye be share, say ne cra no. Again, na ye pese you sua free and presentation. Those are the takeaways. Why are we talking about fasting? Why are we talking about fasting? Fasting no, a free of charge. Quite frankly, a year. Ye free ansana when you access to that. It's freely acceptable to all of us and available to yenina. As I think so very timely. Now saying we are seeing the craving for food is very rampant. Be television and I say share commercials on television biya ye hu enuane ahodo aye de sharing. It is the time for quick fixes and quick food, fast foods. Inti eduane very, very accessible to us. Said ye Nyankopon in his own wisdom, ebo ye nipeduane say we will eat no. And yes, as they say it here. Inti there's a lot of gluttony around and all that. Inti na here say and ye beka and hwasem. I feel so fasting any new to humans. Ancient practice in cultural situations and religious situations, it's been happening since the olden days up until time Orthodox medicine, and I said currently said doctors ye nurses medical practice current medical practice share asiye no into a bibia a part of humanity dada ena ye be busa ye ho say ne health benefits does it really help us as humans? Yes, it aligns with said the Nyankopon bo ye nipadua no into no ehia say ye be hu emu said the beya it will help us to be informed. Now you're making informed decisions. I feel so the final reasoning here, I picked this topic and they said midi kan there's a lot of gluttony around, there's a lot of access to food and food as a yedi duani punpoyen baby I be febia. Na Nyankopon my obligation say yenipeduano it's his temple. And we need to take care of it. Now, part of taking care of it, and then they say, you better align it with God's intention towards ye nipediano. Now, fasting health benefits no back, and they say detoxify your body Emma your body resetting into here say ye be what it is, and then ebe boy ama yetinya make healthy decisions going forward. Okay. Inti again and fasting. And again it is not fasting. Inti I would like to distinguish between two things that we two words are interchange. Say ye can about fasting. Usually ye can fasting ye interchanging with starvation. Say you are fasting fasting na voluntary say we free wa we pay na ode waka say I am not going to eat within a period of time controlled say a lot of control over ade na wo ye no a sense also health benefits, even though you better delve kakra into risks bia and I say negative impacts bia the fasting, if not done correctly, can have on our body. We will make the right decision, decide we are going to do this practice now. I think so starvation and yet fasting, because starvation nature say uni esutumi bia into your fano me say in war torn areas where people don't have access to food. And they are not going to eat. And they don't have control over how long they go without food, and there's no control over nutrients the difference between fasting and starvation and say fasting is intentional. Mashada say I am not going to eat within a period of time. Me control the amount of food that I'm eating, and I will control so over nutrients me they nourish my body. No, said the main deprive me of certain nutrients my body in here, but starvation no uni so control. A come as a come deal, but only access to a diane no na starvation no. Yen shannon so sir. The types of fasting I want two. Your intermittent fasting and your religious and cultural fasting. Now, and then also our focus for the discussion is going to be on the intermittent fasting, because that is what we're focusing on for the health benefits. Spiritually, you say you go into fasting as Christians. Said ebeya ye ne nyankopon ebebo mpu na ye je ye mu nyina e de ama nyankopon. I am not going to focus on religious fasting no ene. De ebeka wasempa intermittent fasting no, which is a practice a church say who didi within a controlled period of time. Na obe deprive of aduane anase ensio anase both aduane and ensio within a period of time. Inti ebe share the types of intermittent fasting na ayewo. Na me selected these types of intermittent fasting because enuna nhwehwemu anase research has delved into it and has been published. Quite frankly, it was like important say all the time, yebe say adiana ye pese adopted for your health bibia nhwehwemu has proven say beneficial for us, and ansa na yetimia den aka say we are going to take advantage of it, because your health and your bibia was say the to chacha. These are the types nhwehwemu has proven time and over again say it's beneficial to us. And na a science so my say anya ni ya a kwan ben na it's si harm ye nipadua. Inti na ma selected these kinds. Inti the first one ye wo alternate day fasting, which is say ene udidi ochina unidi, like alternative between days you are eating. So every other day, said ebe controlling hormone be a friend insulin. Now, I believe say yemu bebre have heard about insulin, because a very common hormone, especially for those that have type 1 diabetes. Now insulin it's more like a cushion that is mobbing water. If you have say ukuta drop of a bottle of water, na say ushieno kakra a good table be so, and I say a good surface I form so ushieno kakra utimi the cushion no a mobe into the insulin no act as that cushion in our bodies a regulate sugar no may use insulin as a symbol of sugar no. Inti insulin regulate sugar ye bodies ye nipaduanim. Na sa alternate day fasting way has been proven say improve insulin sensitivity. A kwanya insulin so regulate u blood sugar ewo unipaduanim. Ena akoma ho so no ebo akoma ho so ban. Ena the other type of fasting 5 to 2 intermittent fasting. What it means is say within the week which is 7 days, you are fasting 2 days of the week, and you are eating 5 days of the week. And this practice has been commonly done to maintain metabolic health. Metabolism, no, say, kwan our body, no, so, break it down nutrients, so they be available, ama our body, no, to absorb. And metabolism, no, into, no, metabolism controlling weight loss, controlling a lot of things within our body. And this type of intermittent fasting usually is prescribed for people who want to maintain their weight or manage their weight and say metabolic health. And the third type, a daily time restricted feeding. It means within every single day, who restricted who say I am eating, maybe I'm eating window 8 hours and I say 6 hours. The rest of the hours, I'm going to fast. Now, it supported the rhythm, the natural rhythm of the body to sleep and wake up. Usually, yendidi, yada, until we are not eating. And those period of that time we are fasting. And at the first meal you have in a day, we call it breakfast. You're breaking your fast. And yes, we did breakfast. The first meal of the day, it could be at 4 p.m., it could be at 3 p.m. That is the time that you decide to break your fast. And this type of intermittent fasting, where you decide, say, a period of your time or of your daily time within the 24 hours, you are not going to eat. You are fasting for 16 hours or you're fasting for 18 hours, and the rest of the window now you are awake, you are going to work and all that, that period, and I will be did. And on your friend, daily restricted feeding, and the final type, a prolonged fasting, and not say you are eating, you are not eating for a long period of time, more than 24 hours, into a more than a day, and only a prolonged fasting. Now, prolonged fasting in Shishemama who say, kind of fasting way, linked to BBI friend autophagy, which is the body's own ability to repair its system, into tissue repair, cellular repair, and a sign so utimi slow down aging. Into that is, and those are the types of fasting when we break it down. Now, maybe say you delve quickly into the health benefits of intermittent fasting. Like I said previously, fasting has been shown there were multiple health benefits. And studies research and multiple research. And transmitted about clinical studies. Nipa within a period of time. Research Nipa within a period of time, and who say there's a lot of benefits. Buama ye nipediano, and I say apomodino, and bako say it causes autophagy. Autophagy no namekano previously auto means like automatic, right? Into automatic cellular cleaning and cellular renewal the chene say body na nkasa rejuvenating into cells cleaning. All the toxins are accumulating in you, and you can agree with me, say, and then we are saying, we don't really have total control over your toxin exposure. You're driving, you're juma, you're highway, so we are breathing in toxic gases. Ye dear crown, and yama, me say, ye this spray and so and sana about with fear. You will do a lot of things to reduce your exposure to toxins, but those that you don't have control over no ends up in your body. Now, in Shishimama who say fasting has physiological benefits where a boama or cells no and one kasa cleaning ne ho. The time now you are not eating no now or cells no air rejuvenating no cleaning ne ho. There is also increase in hormone we are referring human growth hormone. Now human growth hormone no the air say increase your ability to build muscles. Now in Shishmuche said the more muscle or building or lean muscle or building, the more you are able to burn fat. So they be regulate weight. And a science so enhance metabolic switch. Okay, so metabolic switch no cry no dear your natural state of eating no say ye fasting if free moi ye duane a ye die no say the midi can explain what metabolism is no say how your body no break it down nutrients into nutrients where the carbs, where the proteins, where the fats, and how is your body breaking down these nutrients so they be available ama body na absorbing na you so ama when you hoden. Now some metabolic switch the natural metabolic pattern and say body no break it down carbohydrates to produce glucose, right? Into body no a source of energy power glucose. That is the standard and the baseline metabolism no. But metabolic switch no, what happens in this say when you're fasting, you give your body the chance say obe deplete glucose levels ni na wo body ni no. Now fe wa switch it on to fat stores no. Into all the fats that are stored in your body no. There is a chance for your body at that fasting window no to be able to depend on that stored fat no. Into fats no you're stored because for emergency. Into say switch it to fast storage now. Not just will break it down sa fat na I built up in your body no na ama wetimi lucy sa fat ni bi. Na nhwehwemu nso ma yehu say fat burning no release chemicals be referring ketones. Na ketones no amount sharpness in your mental acuity, amount more focused and more focused and amount mental clarity. There's a lot of benefits that ketones come with when fasting is done in the right way. That is what metabolic switch no. That's the meaning of metabolic switch no. I think so no. The one of the findings for the fasting the benefits and longevity. Longevity meaning a delay the aging process. Now it shows to say the biologic age can be reduced by 2.5 years on the average, and it can be more depending on fasting, how consistent you are practicing it in your daily life. A science also reduces something we call oxidative stress, and like I said, we are exposed to a lot of pollutants in our body. Into pollution exposed to air causes something that is called free radicals your systems. Now free radicals say a cause bebre ye nipaduani mo a damage your cells into ebema age very quickly cause a lot of damage to body tissues into nipaduani intimi enye adwuma yie. Now oxidative stress the state of oxidative stress in HSL free radicals now cause through so much say you don't have enough balancing balancing nutrients are all betimi dia balancing on na itimia reduce yabafo. Into fasting no said the kan as you are you are causing autophagy and as a cells no rejuvenating. This oxidative stress now it coming from free radicals no. Emma sadia ninsi. It's very, very important to say we will know some of these things. Now you're making informed decisions about our choices when we are choosing what we put in our bodies and what we don't put in our bodies, and whether fasting is going to help us or not. Like I said, it also increases your lifespan. And only studies are more emu. A chair said there's potential say increase your lifespan based on metabolic health now we improving on. I feel so there's also said can say rejuvenate cells and the identity etimi ebuama utimi reverses certain metabolic diseases like diabetes and high blood pressure, high cholesterol in your body, and then prevention of some cancers. If you show mama who say oxidative stress, it causes certain kinds of cancers. If you are able to reduce that oxidative stress within your body, then you can prevent these kinds of cancers. I'm not saying intermittent fasting is a solution to all forms of cancers, and I say cancer, but I am trying to communicate say a practice bia etimi boaoma based on nhwehwemu a yehu say ubetimi reduce your chances and as or risk of developing certain kinds of cancers. Okay. Yeba adwenimu nso a mental sharpness, high focus, mental clarity, brain health, a supportive brain cells no. Said the American say nhwehwemu say your cells are rejuvenated, and I say clean toxins, a rejuvenated cells now I say what system ni a tuning in action na a renew with cells na new no in your body no into a reduce risk of getting neurological diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, any those kind of things no I affect adwenimu when you are growing into nyini ko wanimu said can say fasting reduce your chances of aging very quickly ni ade no ni nyina eboa ema wadwene mu nsuso no unye very weak ewo wadwene mu in that regard. And I improve your gut health, gut cry mechanism with him, improve your overall digestive health into digestive system no baby I would fa system all the cells that are there cells and the baby woni if you tears so copy into say rejuvenation take place baby and cells no dane omo baby na make sure say bibia atouch ma body no repair no by itself and Bebia ewo system ni munsusu no ebenya emu chefa. Na me say you taking note of this statement say scientific evidence support pa say fasting ewo a lot of health benefits ewo yini peduani. Nenso so always important say because health is not a one size fits all situation, but is precision. It's precise to an individual's needs. I was saying, Shannon so say, we will not take this like bibia ebe said akosia and I say equia and I say kwejo and kwame ebe reacted to this kind of lifestyle no the same across board. And until woko hospital krana you run a test and zana ya prescribe a drug at the amount. The same thing applies to these kind of practices. It is important, say, you are going to consult with your healthcare professional, your dietitian, your nutritionist, so that a regimen tailored to one kasa needs, especially so underlying health condition. This presentation will not be fasting no will not be something that it was said we consulted with healthcare professional and sana you take advantage of this practice because it can be beneficial to you, but if it's not done properly, obe worsen or situation no than say ebe bow. I think so said MD kan you know. There are special considerations I was say Emma ye war ye menstrual cycle mono, which is women who are still menstruating. So premenopausal women no cannot fast the same way as men do. Men don't really have a lot of hormones that are controlling their day-to-day. Everyone has hormones, men, women alike, but something we call the menstrual cycle. And every single month, we go through that cycle. And because of that, a very important say, we will talk briefly about this so that as a what line you know, and as a mema, so I believe say we have partners and I say in Nyamba and I say mba what ya brabum said ebe to make those decisions no. Because hormonal fluctuations we have to be very intentional when we are making fasting decisions. It affected your nutrients levels at every point in time in the menstrual cycle. No, you hear certain kinds of nutrients. Now, adia ba because you bleed every month you tie as experiencing low iron levels are a cause anemia. Inti ubet tire ko hospital yebeka so moja atwate okoye annual physical ABI so moja aswate. And because of these potential nutrient deficiencies are at risk of having nintino. So yet fasting I was say we make certain considerations na say ebia oni ukunu ana say oni unia bema ena mo yes are fasting we na e kwan a obefa so abe fasting e different. Depending on stage or in your menstrual cycle, and one case our body needs okay. I think say maka we ho asem say given the fact say you was needs we no ntino e was say ye share sa niema ni ye afei me pe say me explain it kakra like the practicality of how to do this within the menstrual cycle. Majority of a be more than 28 day cycle, be less than 28 day cycle, and be so 28 day cycle. Majority of a falls within the 28 day cycle. And I used the 28 day cycle as an example to show or demonstrate how to take advantage of hormone for a man cycle way. This is not applicable to men. Men can do the normal fasting as recommended in the study. But in Shishemu who say fasting has impact on hormones, and because hormones in our menstrual cycle, no, you don't want to use fasting to disrupt our menstrual cycle, not cause problems for you in your fertility and I say or menstrual flow. Because and also fat so when you know this, it will help you to know when it is good to fast, when it is not good to fast prolonged periods of time. During the first 5 days of your menstrual cycle, which is the day say your menstrual flow has begun. For day 1, from the day say menstrual flow has begun to day 5. The hormones that are dominating in your body estrogen and progesterone. Now the estrogen and progesterone the say that time very very low. That time na sa hormones we na aba from pa. Na the esie say wawodie no, what is the lining of wawodie no shed into na bleeding no. And our body at this time it hear nutrients. It hear say ebe recover because you are losing blood, you are losing body fluids. Into that time no here say ube prioritizing nourishment, ube prioritizing nutrients, into ube deep more nutrients food, and it is not the timer. It was a intense fasting because body no is in a repair mode. So we try so ube oppose this then it becomes difficult. It doesn't like and it doesn't come naturally to you because it's like you are going against nature. Until during that phase of your cycle, no, it is advised to say you take it easy on fasting. You don't go very aggressive on fasting. So ebia ubeko without food krana, ebe alternative like intermittent fasting, you know, just a short period of time. Then you prioritize a lot of nutrients when you are eating. Into ubedi a lot of greens, ubedi a lot of and yet that time na a good say ube feeding on fast foods, those kind of things. No. And then the next stage, day 6 to 14, a friend of follicular stage. Now the SCN say estrogen levels are cholesterol. And there's a hormone they call the follicle stimulating hormone, and also cholesterol. Now what happens when they say you have a lot of energy levels, your metabolism improves, your ability to break down nutrients is very high at that level, and you have your friend is saying high insulin sensitivity, the ability for your insulin na a body na said they make us a hormone na a regulatory sugar no a very very sensitive at that time. So that time no na ultimately break it down a lot of nutrients, ultimately make it metabolic rate no a very very high. Inti the fasting approach for this stage no the best time for you to fast. Inti se o pesa o fast as a woman, you need to know your cycle. You need to know, say, around this time, am I ovulating? The obvious time during your cycle, time you are seeing blood, So that time, the first 1 to 5 days, you have to take it easy on fasting. Eat a lot of nutrients because lose a lot of fluids and body shed a lot of tissues in your body into here so be nourish. Follicular stage a here pass over fasting. So will take advantage of all the benefits fasting associated with that. This is the stage that you need to fast as a woman. The third phase ovulation phase around day 14 and I ovulate. So that time insulin, your friend is saying estrogen. Estrogen is very, very high at that level when you are ovulating. And that time your body is preparing for potential conceptions. Just say, your body prepare say, in case ushia bema, you ubetimi nyinseng. Inti around that time, you have to keep fasting moderate. Because your body sie ne ho say welcome another human being into the system. Into that time quite difficult to go very very hard on yourself to fast. It's hard for you to go like more than prolonged fasting, more than 24 hours. While body chill say you are not feeling, I say you are not feeling well. But during the follicular stage, ultimately go very long hours without eating, and you still feel fine. That is if your body has adjusted to the fasting. And at the final stage, which is the 15 to 25 days, your friend in luteal phase, where there is a rise in progesterone. Now, progesterone, what it does, to thicken lining said ebe welcome baby in case unyinsenya na etimi holdi baby until say ube. Now what happens at this stage accommodate on them. You become very, very hungry, and there's very low into metabolism cough. Your ability to break down nutrients and all that echo. And here it is advised to say ube reduce o fasting intensity. Inti said the amakano a memane ma enye pe said your body no Nyankopon in his own wisdom ebo your body ni say ebe support human life. A mema emisa cycle no. Inti no, as women we cannot fast the same way as men do fast. However, when women are out of this stage in their life, then they can go all out because they don't go through that cycle anymore. There's no 28 days to follow. But this is specifically for women who are within their premenopausal stage where they are odasuchima, right? Inti sana etie for man. Na there are other hormones that are very common for a ma and a mema. Inti yaka a ma specific considerations that we need to make as women for general purpose, because minim say a mema and a ma and a wall line. So intino for the sake of both men and women to benefit from this presentation, no, there are very key hormones via a controlling your metabolism, your body, the ability for your body to break down nutrients to make it available for you for your optimal health. Now these hormones, you know, you per se you share how fasting impacted those hormones, you know, compared to the normal diets you say calorie restriction diet, ebi wo ho a friend keto, ebi wo ho a friend low carb diet, ebi wo ho a high carb diet, high fat diet, high protein diet. There's a lot of diets that have come up these days. Na in mu bia like I reviewed for this presentation, no, compare the benefits of fasting and the benefits of diets, and then compare the two of them, how it impacts on these hormones. You know, tiano na mpese ye share na ye famu aba. Inti, like I mentioned, insulin a hormone bia a very, very important for regulating your sugar ewo ye nipeduanim. There's another hormone your friend leptin, and another hormone your friend ghrelin. Leptin no a hormone a catcher yadwin say woman, and I say enutina udidia at some point, no matter how much food you are exposed to, udidia at some point you will stop eating, because leptin is produced. It tells your body, your brain, that you are full. Then you don't feel like eating anymore. Inti udidi now me aduane kra nya wakono bio. Ghrelin a hunger hormone. Enuna a controlly a catcher your brain say accommodate. Inti no said a beya Nyankopon in his own wisdom created these hormones, said a beya ube control your appetite. Inti unhu aduane a accommodate wa that ghrelin, if you don't like you've gone for a long time without food, ghrelin is produced. It tells your brain say accommodate, you need to find something to eat. Said a beya uyemun chakro. Inti that is the natural cycle. Now fasting no lower insulin levels. Na insulin levels no say uwo a lot ewo system ni mo. What happens in say at some point I just want to me use sa cushion and water scenario no ebiem say uwo a lot of sugar in your system. Your body is stimulated to produce a lot of insulin so that it will mop that sugar in your system. Say they too much, because they too much, and so I know so be I the body ni diabetes now. Now the more insulin you are producing, the more your chances of storing fat and the more your chances of storing fat, no, the more say obey overweight. With that scenario at the back of our minds, no, when you are fasting will regulate your insulin level such that it doesn't get to the point where you are having too much sugar in your body, too much insulin in your body, and therefore storing too much fat. That is the scenario in simple terms. Now, leptin, if you know so man who said, "Sa leptin na catch your wife say what mean." Sa leptin no eba form. So we started fasting no for reduces our leptin no said the like a as a comedy. But anything as I started fasting now, I said, and as a temptation until you try as much as possible to stay away from food when you are fasting. That is the normal. But over time, no. You should say over time, like as your body gets used to the fasting, no. God in his own wisdom has made the body say adaptive, adapted to situations. Say fasted for some time. That's our body getting used to it. Then the leptin levels stabilizes. So na ghrelin, so started fasting na ghrelin no cost pan whilst leptin is coming down. What is a commodore pan. But over time, our body getting used to it. Then the ghrelin levels stabilize it. However, say you share caloric restriction as a diet a restricted the way. So diets na a restricted one. And yet sa regulation to say the fasting sa regulation. Sa na hwehwɛ the same thing with growth hormone production. And also so say a lot of like as you increase the growth hormone levels, a brown ultimate building muscles. If you say the more muscle mass you have, the more you are able to burn fat and then lose weight into a brown with your fat metabolism. After stress response and a cortisol. Cortisol hormone be as say stress that produces a hormone. Fasting is a form of stress. Now, say you're exposing your body to stress, then we produce the cortisol. Like we increase the cortisol temporarily, and be sustaining, and then over time the body adapt it. However, say you combine that with balanced diet, and you full benefits But say you combine it fasting na say you did it anyhow, and I say you did it with nutrient dense diets, then we sustain the level of cortisol and also confer problems with MI. I think that's the main reason why I was saying for you to fast, you need the counsel of a healthcare professional, not necessarily say be a specialist, and I said no, but any family doctor and casa, and also see at least a nutritionist or a dietitian so that we get guidance based on our personal needs. Now me I'm making the right choices. And I said the kinds of fasting I boa unipeduano. A boa so ma metabolic flexibility. Said I can say metabolic switch. The standard diet will feed on glucose levels, but so fast here a switch called fat because we use all the glucose in our body then eventually what start air producing what start air use fat now we produce ketones a keto diet, ketogenic diet and free, but ketogenic diet a lot of restrictions, mainly fruit way because it has a lot of carbs. But if you should know to my who say we need those nutrients to nourish your body, especially the way your cycle we need certain nutrients in our bodies. Say subject to too much restrictions in your diet, amount problems. Fasting has been proven to have those benefits without restrictions na ketogenic diet I think so for MEMA testosterone levels a boost your mood, or libido, lean muscle building near the adenine. Fasting a positive impact on those hormones. No. However, testosterone levels are very, very high for a long time. Just like for a ma, estrogen levels are high for a very long time. It can raise your cholesterol to a certain level that it can be harmful to you. It is important, again, say, Mrs. Subium say, fasting should be done with caution and with the guidance of a healthcare professional. Afei ne krakra pa ne sen den na me pese ye fa free and presentation me conclude with this last slide. Fasting is free, said the kind no. Sikatua bi anim, you are not going to pay any huge sums of money to have access to that. It's nature's free gift to us. And knowledge of it, no, eboye maye aligning to your need the normal rhythm of your body, no, ewo. Say you take care, like you take good steps, and I say you yemi year a boyen emayen benefits bebre emayen nipedia ene ya pomodin. However, if it's not done well, it can cause risks, ebe exposing you to a lot of health problems if we don't do it well. And I keep saying, say it is very important, say, to do this kind of adjustments to your daily, even though a lot of benefits, the benefits outweigh the risk a lot. Into a very, very beneficial. However, it is important to over consult a healthcare professional because any pet based on your age, based on your gender, say you're ba or bema, and I say when you need. If you call any man, I saw younger no, and I determine the kind of fasting and I say the kind of conditioner you're going to do. And like I said, women and men should have a different approach to fasting. When you are starting, start small. You don't start fasting by doing a prolonged fasting, say 24 hours, more than 3 days fasting. Wabra, onye intermittent fasting for me, funny say, the short period of time, you are not doing the 16 hours or the 12 hours, come for 12 hours that. Then you start with 3 days. It is not advisable to start like that. Start small and then progress over time. And then during the time I will fasting, it is important, very, very important, say you stay hydrated and then balance your electrolytes into there are nutrients via friendly electrolytes you can put in your water as you drink, and then it helps you to be very hydrated. Now body no and yet your friend is saying and depriving of insu. Now so no plan say during the time you're going to eat during the fasting period, during the eating period, after fasting, you are going to eat nutrient-dense foods. Into a diania, any fast foods, any citrus, and I say a diania ubenya ahmodin bebre a free and I will say udi. Now, so you have to be consistent. We say fasting is not a quick fix. Something that nature has given to us, and say natural things take time to give you results. You are not going to see results when you start fasting. You have to be consistent and you have to be patient to be able to get that benefit from fasting. Ahana mede me presentation ebisie Madam Wasibibre for the audience. Now, say I will ask if there are any questions. Na yetimia discuss it and sana end it.
You Mami Juliet that was the power and this year or the MAY. A patrol a beautiful for questions. So we were any questions and ask contributions. Patrol with me about this year.
You, Mama, that's a power for the enlightening presentation as a man. Now, my question in there, during your intermittent fasting, have a time now, and have a quantity full benefits, especially in relation to your activities. Or they keep very active as usual, and now some sedentary being ordered about. Secondly, at the age from Kramba encourage one to fast, and always see for them to indulge in them fasting.
Okay. Yeah, that's a very good question. First question, no, it's if you should move say combining fasting with physical activity, more benefits than just the fasting, no. I would say based on the research now, the results of the research, it is important say you will not be sedentary even though you are fasting. You have to focus on nutrient-dense foods during the time in the time of fasting, your body will depend on those nutrients to nourish your body. Fasting, you still have to engage in physical activity, and you still have to engage you have to have a workout plan, and also based on body needs and health needs. And you need to plan with a healthcare professional so that you are not doing activities underlying health condition but important stay sedentary so that you will reap the full benefits of fasting. And your second question concerning Nkwala, it is not advisable for children below 18 to undergo this kind of regimen. It is because children in God's own wisdom, children in that state, they rapidly rejuvenate their cells, they rapidly rejuvenate their bodies, and they need a lot of nutrients. Into restricting Nkwala bebre for a prolonged period of time, ain't advisable. However, children can go for 8-hour period, and I say a little longer. Or skip about 3 to 4 hours of the daytime for not eating, because fasting time what done you are fasting. Children naturally are fasting when they are asleep. Therefore, and the recommended time for children to sleep is around 10 hours of sleep. If a child is having the full 10 hours of sleep, then naturally they are fasting for that 10 hours. But it is not advisable, medically advisable, to restrict children during the time because they need the nutrients to grow. However, it is not also usually spiritual fasting. Yetimi restricting kwala ma about 12 na afi no mukakudidi. That is okay. It is not something that they are doing every single day. It's not affecting them for a prolonged period of time. Once a while, a child can go without food because that period of time in the body nobody dependent on that nourishment to nourish the body. I hope emudaho.
Yeah, Mama, that's it.
Yo, Auntie Juliet, no question kakra bisa. Hello?
Hello, Mpacho, go ahead.
Aha. Mpacho, mi obi ana mi ye adwuma wo military hospital. Na madwuma ye no mu no. Na mi nya kwanya ye physicals, medical exams every year. Na ebetu brebi na me physician ka chem say me cholesterol level ekosro kakra. Nti o refer me to dietitian nutritionist office. Na dietitian no advise me say mama skip breakfast. Na the chire no a wasua no mani age papa na waya de o wa kire ya de papa ba sua de na ho no kakra be na o fa ka ho etu me fo say no kra na o se mama skip breakfast.
Okay. Yeah, I think say that's you know there's a more explanation to skipping breakfast. Say let me explain breakfast. I was saying say you can take breakfast at a time when you are breaking your fast from sleeping.
Yes.
And say from waking during the time you are fasting. Into breakfast, by the definition of breakfast, you breaking your fast. And yes. Into say who fasted during and like I was saying, so underlying condition. You should fast with the guidance of your healthcare professional. With dietitian, no, you are telling your dietitian, I want to fast within this period of time. However, in a very important say, break you fast, which is the breakfast. People have breakfast during 12. People have breakfast at 4 p.m. Anytime you take breakfast, it is still breakfast because that is when you are breaking your fast. And it is essential, say, you will break your fast with nutrient-dense food. Into fasting, a lifestyle be a more of say, you're intentional about nnuane a wode kɔ wo nipaduane. Say, aduane bia a ɛkɔ wo nipaduane no, biribi a ɛbɛyɛ very beneficial. A lot of nutrients a ɛbɛtumi sustain you at the time that you are fasting, so that you don't deprive yourself of any form of nutrients. And again, Mrs. Subium say, when you have any underlying condition, you have to plan your fasting with your healthcare professional. Now, it's in your mouth guidance are specific to your healthcare needs.
Oh, me that say, Nyankopon ma di mudie mo. When shall we do my dear? Amen.
Amen. Me that say. Pacho, are there any more questions?
Yo, Mama, maybe so you. What are the effects of the weather on your fasting? If you're in the tropics and as against the temperate zones, and are there any differences in obey influence you fasting and the way you fast now?
Well, there isn't any particular studies that I have come across talking about the weather and fasting. However, looking at yenya weather, me fa say baby I mean Canada as an example. In Canada, like and I say US as maybe a momo as an example, because we have different seasons, the ability for the weather to affect time or koda anytime or wakey impact your activity levels. It is advisable, say, you will plan your fast around your circadian rhythm, which is your rhythm or the controlly time or koda anytime or sorry. For instance, during the winter time, adia santem, and because adia santem no, very, very likely say, if you are not somebody away jumana joa, then you are likely going to go to bed early compared to in the summer where adia and santem. And because of that, it is advisable, say, ube planning or fasting around, say, undidi very close to your bedtime, because you did it close to your bedtime and so den hadwen ukoda ube sorry no na say aduane ni ginger but you are not able to digest the food. When you eat immediately you go to sleep. Inti no kakra betimi aka ne say like based on the changes in the weather, etimi impact o eating habits and I say time a udidi anytime the sorry time a the call dani time a the sorry and it can indirectly impact time a udibedidi but say there is a direct correlation between fasting and the weather there really isn't any studies about whether no impact a war fasting, whether you are in winter, you are in summer or fall, you can still fast. Nemum caution na obe put in place say number one, because probably you are in winter and you are not outside a lot, you are not doing a lot of physical activity outside, you will do physical activity within your indoor physical activity. Make sure say ebia obe skip bi and I say obe take a walk around your block and I say something like that, a intentional way of living during the weather changes, no, said they are impacted of fasting, no, bebre.
Mama, one interesting issue relating to hormonal changes, the effect of fasting on them. That's an issue, in fact, or because if Ghanaian society, especially Ghanaian religious society, and why you fasting about, and I don't know, Ubia and caution one about it. Me consider a Muslim society where I didn't know about this situation, but one by now when you may fasting one period now. I don't know if one more on some restrictions and something like that. But in the Christian society, what you're fasting about. So maybe we have to find a way of educating them on this situation.
Yeah, I agree. It's and now we are having this discussion. No? Fasting is not bad for women, but acquiring your fast can impact your hormones. And say hormones now regulate your cycle, no, impacted negatively. Ebetimi affect your fertility, ebetimi affect your menstrual cycle, ebetimi affect nyama bebre ewo body nim. Enti no I was say exercise a lot of caution. Said you are not fasting so much like intensively when your body is telling you say that time when me hear nourishment. That time when me hear say ube taking it easy on me because a ma said nyankopon boy one boy and said obo mema. Yeah, it's important say you be informed about your health now yet you're making more good decisions concerning some of these things. Now I think you're boy.
But my question and answer your question, dear, but contribution kakra about the opening a career about Muslim, dear, no.
Okay. Yeah, Pacho, go ahead.
Muslim for I think minimum bill I was recently almost 30 days, almost the whole month of March, Nina. Now I think so much almost sorry. Then so much didi kakra at the aduane ya one son or matwa fasting so all throughout. And another missing question is na yes I fasting see a time or two a day fasting be a dry na intermediate intermittent fasting no. In this case no, like for example of omodieno, is it a right thing to do it that way and I say just have to be totally say young fashion to yes, it was a me fasting. But your question from say clear now.
Yeah, very clear. Well, said there isn't one size fits all because as nipa no, we are all different. Now, I really cannot speak to say the Muslims or fasting whether it's right or wrong. That is a religious a religious practice, and I really cannot speak to the religious. It said and say the focus of this presentation is on the health benefits and the studies, and I say research in the health medical society in medicine. I say fasting health benefits Now, say you can't about fasting in relation to medical practice, then I would say obia any said some people are older, a be younger in their prime, a be a mema. Inti obia wo kwanya was say of fasting based on the individual needs. And intina uhia say one o primary physician and I say o healthcare provider bekasa and sana you will venture into any form of fasting. However, with regards to the dry fasting and the fasting with water, kinds of fasting. When you are going dry, it is what it means in say who deprive of any form of nutrient, including water, including electrolytes, and a prolonged period of time. Said make me in my presentation it can have a bit having negative impact on your health. However, say you're dry fasting for that 16-hour period, you say maybe I may yes 6 to 6 like 12 hours. It's not even 16 hours, right? Into 12 hours of ABI, you say timer from time I'll be sorry. You're fasting, you're not eating anything, you are going dry. Now sorry. From that time now till say about 6. That is like 6 to 6 fasting, 12 hours period. You're not eating anything, you're not drinking anything. However, if your body is telling you to drink water, it is important to say you will nourish your body with water, because if you go without you go absolutely zero with water and you are dehydrated, that can said if you saw the last slide now I was talking about, say you need to listen to your body when you are going through a fasting period and work with fasting is not supposed to work against your body, it is supposed to work for your body. Said repeat the full benefits fasting was said bro. I think that is kakra meeting that front. With regards to spiritual inclinations needed, I really cannot speak to say right or wrong, but the medical aspect now, this is what I can say. Yeah.